The Congress stands accused of creating massive vaccine hesitancy through insinuation and through suggestions on social media and otherwise. But today, they've gone a step further and made it dangerously and sickeningly explicit. It looks like an effort to derail India's vaccine drive to contain the COVID pandemic. This time, a Congress social media chief has claimed that calves, the babies of cows, are being slaughtered for Bharat Biotech's Covaxin COVID vaccine, and that cow blood is used in the end product. Here's that dangerous report.
It consists cow-calf serums, which is actually clotted blood obtained after slaughtering the young cow calves.
Covaxin consists of newborn calf serum, clotted blood obtained from young cow calves after slaughtering them. A despicable new piece of dangerous misinformation that has erupted from the Congress party, fully weaponized to explode religion-based hesitancy amidst an already sharp vaccine crisis.
Now there is this conversation going around on Covaxin based on an RTI response by the Government of India that it consists cow-calf serums, which is actually clotted blood obtained after slaughtering the young cow calves. Government should not betray the faith and belief of people. That people should go for the vaccines, yes. That's the only way to defeat the pandemic.
Quoting a Right to Information response, Congress social media national coordinator Gaurav Pandey tweeted the claim along with a copy of the RTI document. The tweet was part of an organized move by the Congress party to put into people's minds that calf blood was being used in Covaxin.
RTI में जो तथ्य सामने आए हैं उसका उत्तर सरकार को और भारत बायोटेक को देना चाहिए. उसके बाद इस पर कोई चर्चा हो सकती है.
While the Congress has been soundly bashed by experts and observers on social media, the government also opened official counterfire, rebutting the claim point by point. Highlighting that the final Covaxin product does not contain newborn calf serum at all, and that the calf serum is not an ingredient of the final vaccine product, the government has said facts have been twisted and misrepresented in these posts by the Congress party.
There was time when some politicians said that this vaccine is not an Indian vaccine, this is a BJP ka vaccine. And I will not take the vaccine. मैं तो vaccine लूंगा नहीं, जब हमारी सरकार आएगी तब हम vaccine देंगे. And then we had slew of Congress leaders who in fact did not show any interest in Covaxin. Rather, they pointed fingers toward Covaxin.
A 4-point rebuttal demolishes the dangerous Congress googly over calf blood. The Congress claim that Covaxin contains newborn calf serum is false, as is the claim that young calves are slaughtered for Covaxin. Apart from the third false claim that calf blood is somehow harvested for the vaccine, the government has also pointed out that an identical process is used for existing polio, rabies and influenza vaccines. The calf blood claim is the latest in a series of grossly irresponsible hesitancy triggers by opposition politicians targeting Covaxin specifically, including the Congress leadership itself. It started in January with Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh and Shashi Tharoor questioning authorization to Covaxin. This was followed by Anand Sharma and finally Rashid Alvi. Even the Congress's ally, the Shiv Sena, has been embarrassed by the irresponsible calf blood campaign, with Priyanka Chaturvedi saying those who keep talking about the need for scientific temperament and research are now tweeting their disgust basis some RTI on Covaxin, adding to vaccine hesitancy by bringing religion-based choices to it. In its effort to score political points amidst a crisis, has the Congress lost all sense of measure and accuracy? And with the hesitancy virus matching COVID in spread, does the Congress now have blood on its hands? Bureau Report, India Today. Now, as scary as these fake suggestions are, they come on the back of many previous triggers by Congress leaders on vaccine hesitancy. They've caused vaccine hesitancy directly. Take a look at this. On January the 3rd this year, Congress leader, former Union Minister Jairam Ramesh said that it was puzzling that internationally accepted protocols relating to phase 3 trials are being modified for Covaxin. It's something that the government had clarified on. On the same day, Shashi Tharoor, MP, former minister, said that the Covaxin approval is premature and could be dangerous. He said the use of the vaccine should be avoided till full trials are over. He's also proven to be false. In the same month, another Congress leader, an MP, former Union Minister, Anand Sharma, said that the Health Ministry needs to give cogent reasons for dispensing with mandatory protocols and requirements in Covaxin. All this at a time when it was everyone's effort to get people to vaccinate as quickly as possible. These people were busy triggering vaccine hesitancy. Then we had Rashid Alvi, another Congress leader, who asked, why is the Prime Minister himself not taking the Covaxin? Why is he shying away from taking it? Of course, the Prime Minister did ultimately take Covaxin. January 13th, Congress MP Manish Tiwari said that emergency use authorization to COVID vaccine Covaxin raises concerns on its efficacy as phase 3 trials have not been completed and its rollout cannot be used as phase 3 trials. He said Indians are not guinea pigs. Imagine what the public would have thought with a former Union Minister saying that. February 11th, Chhattisgarh Health Minister T.S. Singh Deo of the Congress Party wrote to the Union Health Minister asking the centre to halt the supply of Covaxin candidate to the state. He said he was founding his request on two concerns, that the vaccine candidate lacked efficacy data and that Covaxin vials are missing their expiry dates. So all of these are just a few examples of how hesitancy targeted at Covaxin, not at Covishield, specifically at Covaxin, has been something of a campaign since January by different Congress leaders. Has it been part of a design? Has it been a coincidence? We leave our viewers to decide on that, but we were just giving you the specifics. Now, is there blood on the Congress's hands right now? They've come out with this theory about calf blood being present in Covaxin and that calves being slaughtered for the preparation of Covaxin. It's been rebutted by experts, by scientists, by doctors and by the government. But please consider this. Doesn't this spark religion-based avoidance of the vaccine? Is that what the Congress was looking to do before the UP elections next year? It plants vaccination doubts in the minds of a public which is already hesitant. They're already hesitant with vaccines. You're planting even more doubt. It provides a communal basis to vaccine hesitancy. So far, vaccine hesitancy has been based on rumors and, suggestions made by family, people, also the shortage, of course. But now you're adding a communal twist to the whole thing. It amplifies the existing misinformation, and there is so much of it already, targeted at Covaxin. And it distracts vaccine scientists and doctors from their crucial job at hand. Bharat Biotech, other companies must be thinking, should we spend our time speeding up our vaccine development, or should we waste our time issuing press releases to rebut the Congress party while it's trying to discredit us in front of millions of people? Which is why the big question that needs to be asked at this time, and this is not about targeting the opposition, ladies and gentlemen, this is about vaccine hesitancy, which means people's lives. And as we ask questions of the government as far as the second wave is concerned, at this point of time with this crucial vaccination window closing very quickly, can we afford to not ask, is this Rahul's mission hesitancy? Is this some kind of larger, cynical political campaign by the Congress party? Some questions we're asking. Is this calf blood stunt that's been propagated by Gaurav Pandey, who is a senior digital communications leader of the Congress party, and people like Pawan Khera, is this inspired by Rahul Gandhi's own series of vaccine attacks this year? Has Rahul Gandhi personally cleared hesitancy as a fair political mission for his party? Is the Congress party responsible in some way, at least partially or wholly, for the widespread vaccine hesitancy in the country? It can't be fully responsible, but at least partially with this sort of nonsense going out there. Is the Congress weaponizing its hesitancy to dent the Modi government's vaccination drive further? Score political points, make the government look bad, ask them substantial questions, but also ask them these fake questions. Put out this fake news, make these fake claims that only amplify vaccine hesitancy. Joining me live now is Tuhin Sinha. He's a leader of the BJP. Daniel Francis is a political analyst, and Dr. Vimal Pahuja is a physician with the LH Hiranandani Hospital. I want to start with the doctor first. Dr. Hiranandani, you've seen these dangerous claims that have been in the realm of insinuation so far. Today you have a mainstream party making an explicit claim that calves are being slaughtered for the creation of Covaxin. These are not my words. These are the words of the Congress party on social media from a verified account. How dangerous is this? Experts, doctors, scientists, the government, they've all rebutted these claims. How dangerous are these claims at a time like this, doctor?
Well, when we are going through this kind of scenario where pandemic is hitting hard, and we have just gone through the second wave, expecting the third wave to hit us, and there is a vaccine hesitancy. Of course, we know that these vaccines are made in this scenario with a similar kind of process. So, and the vaccine is actually safe. We have seen the data is very clear that the vaccine has been safe, it is efficacious, and it has been active against the variants which we have been seeing. Because of the variants, we have seen that second wave coming up. So the data is also very, very clear about the variants, that the vaccine is very safe and also efficacious against the variants. So in that sense, I think that from a scientific point of view, from the fraternity point of view, I will say the vaccine is very safe and efficacious, and there should be no hesitancy in accepting or taking this vaccine.
Tuhin, your party has held a press conference. The government has issued a rebuttal, a formal rebuttal as well on this. Almost about 20 hours after that tweet went out. So I'm wondering if the damage has already been done on something like this. But how are you seeing what the Congress is trying to do here?
Shiv, this is not the first time the Congress party has tried to demonize Covaxin, an completely indigenously manufactured vaccine. But it increasingly, it's only confirming the fact that they are following a certain toolkit politics, except that this time, as you rightly use the word, they have tried to weaponize vaccine hesitancy, and that too, by spreading a communal color to it. Now, as far as the medical aspects are concerned, the respected doctor has already clarified it. For the growth of virus cells, it's an intrinsic process of the manufacture of all vaccines, including those against polio. Now, the Congress has a very disastrous track record. In 2011, when India became polio-free, we were the fourth last country to do so. I have been on record to say this. We are on track to script the biggest vaccine program history. We're probably going to be one of the first countries to vaccinate a good 95 crore of our urban population, of our complete population, adult population. And the Congress and the opposition, trust me, will do everything possible to sabotage this process.
Because
this is one of those tricks.
This is plain dangerous. The fact is, this is plain dangerous. You don't need to be on the BJP side or the Congress's side to have a view on this. People from across the spectrum, doctors, scientists, experts have all condemned this, very cynical and dangerous stunt that's been pulled by the Congress. Daniel, is there any defense for this kind of thing? Of course, transparency is an issue. Transparency should always be an issue. But considering what the Congress has tried to do over here, and mind you, the Congress has refused to be part of this show. We invited them to be part of this show. So it should be very telling that they've refused to be part of this show. But Daniel, is there any defense for this? Daniel, you're on mute.
I'm so sorry. I don't think that something like this, if done with the motive to score political points or to, disturb the vaccination program, can be defended. Science has its own religion, and that is, and they don't follow all these faith and beliefs and political considerations. But nevertheless, what has come to light is a little serious, because people need to be. But
Daniel, I respectfully interrupting you to say, you're saying it has no political motive. Here's a guy from the Congress party. He's one of the senior leaders of their digital communication cell, putting out on Twitter an RTI document where he says calf blood is being harvested for Covaxin. Calf blood is in Covaxin, and calves are being slaughtered for the manufacture of Covaxin. How can that not be political? That is clearly political, apart from being flagrantly ignorant and absolutely dangerous. There will be people dying because they will be reading this and not taking the vaccine for religious or other reasons.
No, that can be argued whether the justification that is given there in those tweets, whether calves are slaughtered, not slaughtered. Of course, he has done it with the motive of politicizing the vaccination program.
Yes.
I have no doubt any in mind will accept it. But I'm just bringing an interesting point that he's trying to make. He's saying that don't the people of India should know exactly what the vaccine components are, and
Okay.
what kind of vaccines are administered on whom. People should have a choice. See, we don't have a forced vaccine program in this country.
But Daniel, you're being very big-hearted. You're being big-hearted here because the polio vaccine, the influenza vaccine, the rabies vaccine, all are made in the very same manner. Doctor Pahuja, am I right? All vaccines are made with the same kind of methods, etc. Even the government has clarified that. And many of these vaccines have been made over the years, including under earlier governments. Nobody should be questioning them. So if you've got the Congress now asking for transparency on this vaccine, there is definitely some political mischief behind it. Doctor?
Absolutely. I mean, if you see, vaccine has been made like this for years. It's a killed vaccine which requires we know all vero cells which are coming from the monkey. And this is a standard scientific process which is used for so many years. It has been clarified by everybody now. So I think this is from the, again, I'm saying fraternity point of view, from the vaccine point of view, and safety point of view, there has been no issues. We have seen in the phase 3 trial also, the phase 3 studies have been out, and this is very safe vaccine. So there should not be any doubts over the vaccine at this point of time.
Yes.
Which we have seen, the data is very clear.
Daniel, you're saying this Congress leader, thinks that the people of India should know all this information. By that yardstick, with this fresh rebuttal that's come out from the government, from doctors, from scientists, the same Congress party should come out and put out a statement saying, thank you for enlightening us. This is how vaccines are made. They've been made this way all along, including under our earlier governments. And we hope the people of India are totally enlightened about it.
What the Congress and the BJP are saying and doing, I really don't care. I only know one thing, that the vaccination program still needs a lot of promotion, and people's trust need to be built in that program. We are not living in an age in 1940s.
This tries to hit that trust, is the point.
Give a vaccine to people and they don't know what the components of the vaccines are. People today are far more aware than what they were in the 50s and the 60s and 70s,
Sure.
and they want to know that what are the components of each vaccine. There are still people, I have spoken to educated people yesterday, friends of mine, who are saying that they're waiting for Sputnik. I don't know what they're waiting for Sputnik. I have taken Covishield.
Yeah.
So, people are taking, not taking, that is their prerogative, but people are making informed choices.
Forgive me for being a bit... Yes.
I would refrain from, bringing the religious part or the religious...
But the religious part is very important in this. You've got, the point is...
Leave that to the politician. But I'll tell you one thing, that whosoever has brought this issue out, the RTI, the most important issue is that if whatever the components of any vaccine programs are, they should be informed, people should be informed.
But that is not the motive here. Point is, you're making a larger point, Daniel. You're making a larger idealistic point. I take that at face value. I agree. But that is not. Forgive me for not thinking here that the Congress is on a mission to educate India about the ingredients of vaccines. That is not the mission here. The mission here is politics, it's mischief and scoring points.
But the job to educate India.
Also, no. But let's not forget the religious angle here. The very fact that you're talking about slaughter, you're talking about calf blood, you mention cow calf as if nobody knows what a calf is, Tuhin. All of that is to amplify the whole cow angle in this for religious reasons. What other reasons are there? No, you basically any person who has an objection with cow slaughter, etc., is going to look at this tweet, if they take it at face value, and think, oh my God, I shouldn't touch this vaccine because cows have been slaughtered for this vaccine. How is there not a religious angle in this?
People are not that naive.
No, they may not be that. Daniel, you and I may not be that naive, but this is a large country, my friend. You know that.
So, Shiv, I'm glad you yourself created a link. Daniel, can you please keep quiet now? You made your point. Shiv, I'm glad you yourself I'm glad you yourself have tweeted a link which from a lady who clearly mentions that this blood is not extracted from alive calves. And this process has been followed for decades. So unfortunately, the Congress of Rahul Gandhi is both dumb and devious at the same time. Yes, it was meant to stoke communal tension, and I say this with full responsibility because this is not the first time the Congress has done that. Just the previous day, they did it on another issue, completely unrelated, on Loni. And I am afraid that, as of today, 26 crore people have been vaccinated. We have placed orders for 127 crore. So there is no vaccine shortage, which Rahul Gandhi tweets every second day with complete ignorance. So they will try everything possible to sabotage India's vaccination program because they know it's clearly on the right track. They know we are on the right course to strip vaccination history with this mission.
Daniel, do you have any response to that? That this is...
I have a response to that.
Yes.
I have a response to that. I'll tell you one thing very, very straightforwardly to him, that India's vaccine program is very slow. It is a program that still doesn't have the support and the trust of the people. Please work building the trust of the people.
No, but that's a different point.
Transparently.
But Daniel, that is a different point. Daniel, that is a different debate.
Ignorant as Rahul Gandhi.
If you watch, Daniel, to be very fair, here on India Today, we constantly are doing shows on a daily basis about how the mission vaccination in India is faulty. There are many faults and hurdles in it. We are calling out those questions, but that has nothing to do with the opposition creating doubt in people's minds, dangerously playing with religious sentiments and putting out these googlies out there.
So you are telling me if this RTI, if Congress was in power and this RTI was out, the BJP would not have created...
Perhaps, and we would have called it out then as well. Perhaps, let me be very clear to you.
Don't you think that they would have demanded an absolute...
How does that make it right? How does that make it right, Daniel? You're not...
I'm not saying it is making it right.
This is a once in a... No, look, I am not going to take...
We are living in a far more informed world.
I have a blanket answer. I have a blanket answer for this. I have a blanket answer for this, Daniel. If you say that if the Congress was in power and the BJP did this, we would have similarly called them out. If there was a once in a century pandemic of this kind and the opposition party had created hesitancy through political irresponsibility of this kind, we would have called it out. Two wrongs don't make a right, Daniel. I know you know better than that.
If Congress were in power, they would have not allowed Covaxin to succeed in India. If Congress was in power, let me tell you, they would not have been allowed Covaxin to exist or to succeed.
I don't want to argue with the political party here. I'm just saying that India's political parties, whether they are in government or in opposition, have
separate
lost
issue.
their scientific temper.
Separate issue. Although those are legitimate issues, but they are separate from this particular topic. That's what I'm saying. Daniel, I take what you're saying, but I'm saying they're separate issues. They are not on the table right now in this particular 25-minute debate. Dr. Pahuja, one final question to you, sir. When you have a lot of patients come to you, they trust their doctors. Do all these rumors, all this hearsay, all this fake news, does it have an impact on your patients' minds? Do they also come to you saying, sir, mujhe ye WhatsApp mein mila hai, what is the truth? Are you also finding yourself fact-checking and bursting fake news for your patients?
Absolutely. When you see this new things coming up, new vaccine, new virus, completely new experience for anybody. So if there are any kind of these, when you have some kind of news or some kind of news circulating on WhatsApp or net or through the rumors also, they are going to question whether I should do this or not. Of course, they come with a trust, they trust us, and they want to really understand whether I've been misled or I've been rightly guided by this kind of news. So they want to really verify with us, and this is a day in, day out scenario with us where we have to clarify each and every doubt about medications, about vaccines, and this is very true, and it definitely plays with the mindset of the people. But we have to assure them with a scientific backed evidence and tell them that this is good for you or this is not good for you.
And my final comment on this issue to all of you is that Daniel, there are so many things that have gone wrong with India's vaccination program. It's a gargantuan effort. All of those issues are legitimate issues which the Congress can attack the government on. Constructive issues, whether it is shortages, not planning ahead, clearances, whatever it is, those are legitimate issues. My single point is, turn the screws on the government for those legitimate issues. Don't indulge in fake news and misinformation. The opposition must be constructive in hitting the government. That's my point. Yes, last word, 20 seconds.
Last word. Forget about the Congress, forget about the BJP. Just build the trust in the vaccination program by absolute transparency. Let people of India know and promote the program well. And, then they will not be able to get swayed in by any such post or any misleading information that is there on social media. We need the vaccination program to go straight and effectively, and more people to get vaccinated. This is not the first time that it has happened that some animal serum has been used, and it's not the last time that has happened. But these are sensitive issues. They are unnecessarily being raked up. But the government's responsibility is to build trust.
We will highlight misinformation because, as the old saying goes, and I paraphrase, the lie has already taken 2 trips around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes and tying its shoelaces. That's the way fake news actually works. That's the way rumors actually spread. And that's the reason why, when lives are at stake, it's important to bust misinformation as quickly as possible. And we will continue to do it here on India Today. Daniel, Dr. Pahuja, Tuhin, pleasure always. Thank you very much for being with me here on this story. In fact, speaking of vaccinations, the lens has been on a vaccination camp in an upscale Mumbai society after residents have questioned the authenticity of the vaccines they received. It's like a vaccination scam in a posh locality in Mumbai. 390 citizens in the Hiranandani colony of Mumbai took a vaccine shot, but not a single person got any side effect. Hospitals have denied providing vaccines to the housing society, and this has led to a huge scam. Here's this exclusive report by India Today's Saurabh Vaktania.
This is Mumbai's upscale Hiranandani Estate Society. On May 30th, 390 people living here were given Covishield shots inside the society premises. What happened next was baffling. None of the 390 people given the vaccine had any post-jab symptoms, like a mild fever or an ache in the hand. There were more surprises to come.
390 लोगों को वैक्सीनेशन दी गई थी उस दिन ऑन रिकॉर्ड, और हमसे 1260 रुपया लिया गया है. हमें बोला गया था 1200 रुपया ये इसका वैक्सीनेशन का चार्ज है और 60 रुपीज़ GST है. वहाँ पे किसी को पिक्चर्स लेने नहीं दे रहे थे कि भाई आई एम वैक्सीनाइट, और तो वो जो वहाँ पे स्टाफ था वो भी बोल रहा था सेल्फी और हमारा भी फोटो आपको नहीं लेना है.
The people living in the high-end society grew more suspicious after nobody received the certificate issued by the government.
We are seeing after like the day of vaccine, no one is having any side effects, no one is having any terms of, symptoms, nothing in that sorts. So in terms of that, then we started questioning, we started wondering what is going on. So after that, after inquiring, we got to know that no one was getting certificates also, which was supposed to be issued within the first 10-15 minutes of getting the vaccine.
After 10 days, they did get the certificates, but these had the names of different hospitals in Mumbai.
सर्टिफिकेट जो बाद में तो वो तो डिफरेंट नेस्को से आ रहे हैं, लाइफलाइन से आ रहे हैं, हमको आ रहे हैं, नानावटी से आ रहे हैं. नेस्को तो बीएमसी के अस्पताल. वही जब नेस्को का सर्टिफिकेट आया तब यह सरप्राइज कि ये तो फ्री का और बीएमसी का है, ये कैसे मैनेज हो रहा है. इट मींस इट्स अ वेरी बिग गेम कि ये सब वैक्सीनेशन तो मैनेज हुआ है पर सर्टिफिकेट भी मैनेज हो रहा है.
Then came another twist in the story. The hospitals, which included the city's top ones, denied to have given any vaccine doses to be administered to Hiranandani Estate Society members. Anxiety and anger has gripped the members. They are not even sure what vaccine was given to them.
300 people have taken this vaccine, maybe more than that. 390 people have taken the vaccine. Okay, so we want to know first the authenticity कि क्या गया है हमारे body में. The first and foremost. Second, we need the government intervention on this.
सर्टिफिकेट जो आते हैं जनरली गवर्नमेंट के सर्टिफिकेट जो आते हैं वो 15-20 मिनट में या विद इन 1-2 आवर्स आ ही जाते हैं, एट द मोस्ट 24 आवर्स. बट हम लोग को किसी को भी कोई भी सर्टिफिकेट नहीं आया. जो भी सर्टिफिकेट्स आए किसी को एक हफ्ते के बाद, किसी को उसके बाद.
After India Today's report from this upscale society, the BMC has ordered a probe. The Deputy Municipal Commissioner will lead the investigation and submit a report within 48 hours.
The BMC officials are also taking the certificates which have been issued to some of the society members and will also speak to the CoWIN app and the nodal officers of the central government. Most importantly, if there is any irregularities in this whole case, BMC themselves will be filing an FIR with the Mumbai police regarding this case. With camera person Prashant Bhatt, this is Saurav Vakhtania in Mumbai for India Today.
And we've got some breaking news coming in on the political rumblings in Karnataka. Amidst the big rumblings in the state, the BJP's party in charge for Karnataka, Arun Singh, has just met Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa amidst suspense that there could be a leadership change in the state. And this meeting has happened even as certain prominent ministers from the Yediyurappa cabinet have decided to stand by Yediyurappa, even if the High Command decides to remove him or replace him in the future. Sources say the ministers have made this decision as they fear losing their ministerial berths if they go against Yediyurappa. So big political twists and turns in Karnataka continuing over the suspense over Yexit. An all-out fight has broken out over a video of an assault of an elderly man in Ghaziabad. Twitter was filled with posts stating that there was a communal angle to this horrific attack on that elderly man, a claim that has been refuted by the UP police even as the investigation continues. An FIR has now been filed against Twitter itself, as well as several prominent journalists, a prominent fact-checking expert, as well as an author and some politicians for spreading misinformation. Here's more. This viral video of a man in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, being assaulted first emerged on Monday. The video showed an elderly man being assaulted and his beard being forcibly cut off. The incident took place on the 5th of June. On the 7th, in a Facebook Live with a local Samajwadi Party leader, Ummed Pahalwan, the man alleged that he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram while being assaulted. Several journalists, Congress leaders and a prominent fact-checker expressed outrage while sharing the video, backing these unverified claims on Twitter, prompting the UP police to launch a probe. It has now emerged that the incident was not a communal crime at all, but the result of a personal rivalry. And the UP government has cracked the whip. An FIR has now been filed against social media giant Twitter, fact-checker Mohammad Zubair, co-founder of Alt News, journalist Rana Ayub, online news portal The Wire, Congress leaders Salman Nizami and Dr. Shama Mohammad, and author Saba Naqvi.
We have registered an FIR yesterday in which 7 people have been named and 2 Twitter and Twitter India have been made a party to it. Our social media team is still actively searching for posts who are still indulged. We'll take action against them also.
Twitter Corporation तथा Twitter Communication India Private Limited द्वारा भी उक्त धार्मिक संवेदनशील झूठे ट्वीट्स को हटाने के लिए भी कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई, जो उनका कर्तव्य एवं जिम्मेदारी थी। अतः जनपद गाजियाबाद के थाना लोनी में इन सभी के विरुद्ध मुकदमा अपराध संख्या 502/21 सुसंगत धाराओं में दर्ज किया गया है, जिनमें साक्ष्य के आधार पर कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
The FIR against Twitter comes on a day it lost its intermediary status for not complying with information technology rules in India. The tech giant, along with 6 others, face up to 3 years in jail. They've been charged with provocation to cause a riot, promoting enmity, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings, and criminal conspiracy. politics over fake claims and the viral video have also exploded.
इन लोगों के अंदर होड़ है कि किस तरह से 2022 का जो चुनाव है यूपी का, उसकी चाबी सांप्रदायिकता के माध्यम से खोल दी जाए। लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी और योगी जी की जो सरकार है उसका वो प्रतिबद्ध है कि 4.5 साल में कम्युनल या सांप्रदायिक माहौल होने नहीं दिया और ना होने देंगे।
निर्दयता, निर्ममता और सारे बंधनों को तोड़ते हुए जिस तरह हुई ये घटना, ये दर्शाता है कि कानून का राज उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं है।
इस देश के अंदर सभी जानते हैं कि जाति धर्म की राजनीति कौन करता है, कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर में कोई व्यक्ति चाहे किसी भी जाति धर्म का हो, उसकी सुरक्षा करना सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है और उसका लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करना भी सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है। सरकार अपनी जिम्मेदारी से नहीं भाग सकती, ये तय है।
The big question remains, was this old man made to say that he was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram? Was there a bigger conspiracy afoot? The investigation continues.
The Ghaziabad police claims they didn't find any communal motive behind the incident, and also they claim that none of the accused forced the victim to chant Jai Shri Ram. Hence, an FIR has been lodged against Twitter, Twitter India and many other people who tweeted this video claiming it to be a communal incident. With camera person Ritesh Mishra, this is Abhishek Anand reporting from Ghaziabad for India Today.
And India Today's Aishwarya Paliwal been tracking this case. Aishwarya, the investigation is still on. Several unanswered questions, but that FIR against several prominent journalists, Twitter itself, a prominent fact-checking expert, etc., has been filed. What is the next step of action that the UP police is planning to take? Are they going to be summoned? What next?
From what we are understanding at the moment, Shiv, definitely summons will be sent out to everyone. And as far as Twitter is concerned, the team have told India Today they are looking into the FIR and they will take the next course of action when the time arrives. But at the moment, they want to remain very tight-lipped. What's very interesting, Shiv, is the timing of this FIR. 24 hours after the IT minister very clearly said that the company is not following the IT rules and they will not be protected. We are seeing this FIR coming out. From what we are understanding, the social cyber cell of the UP police is also very clearly looking at it because the communal angle was given in it. But the police is saying after investigations, they have found out it is just a feud between two families. It has nothing to do with the communal angle. But we could see in the next couple of days certain summons being sent out. Shiv.
Aishwarya, thank you very much for that important point made by Aishwarya. The first case against Twitter since it has lost its legal shield for defying Indian law and requirements. In fact, as you can see at the bottom of our screen, IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad will be live and exclusive on that issue at 6 p.m. First channel that he will be speaking to, because India Today brings you the newsmakers before anyone else, as always. We're leaving you now with these images of the Pakistan National Assembly, where parliamentarians from government and opposition took on each other, hurled papers and abuses and made an absolute mockery of their country, their parliament and their culture. Take a look at this.
बस